Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fire Brigade of Flames, Chapter 147. We last left off with our four-part video the other night. The fight with a giant ash form Nataku ended with Kurono bringing him back to reason by allowing him to be weak. Let's see. Charon deflected a giant laser beam to the moon. It was awesome. Last time was just amazing. It was great. It was so good. And then we left off with Obi, Shinra, and Victor meeting up with the Haijima president. And that's where we go into with 147 Oath. So yeah, we open up in the meeting with the, between our heroes and Gleo Haijima. And Obi speaks up first. Thank you for speaking with us today, Mr. President. This is about the attack a few days ago, right? It's a good thing you're here. You won't survive in this country if it becomes your enemy. They saved his life, and he's already fucking threatening them. Is that a threat? I won't waste our time on this. So let's talk about our alliance against the Preacher. If you cooperate with Haijima, I'll reconsider the hit we put out on Licht. I like that he is not even, like, dancing around the issue. He's like, yeah, we're gonna kill Victor if you don't work with us. Just look at this guy's eyes. The president of Haijima sees people as only objects. And what are you going to do in the Taku-kun? And Gleo turns to him. You're that human possessing the Adora Burst, yes? If you cooperate with our experiments, we'll reconsider the fine points about our child experiments. And now he's guilting Shinra. Not a bad compromise for either side, right? With Shinra helping our search for more Adora Burst, then I can cancel my previous orders. But you guys were the ones who started this fight. Don't be so emotional. I'm asking you to consider what's good for the Empire. And Obi pipes up. Do you know the goal of the 8th? We're a fire department conducting internal investigations. We suspect Haijima has some relationship with the Preacher, and that you're hiding something about the secret of Amaterasu. We already know that there was some inhuman who helped found the Holy Sol Temple. That's why it's not unreasonable to assume Haijima has a connection to the Preacher, too. How far do you think this goes? After all, Amaterasu was created by a joint effort of Haijima and the Temple. And wouldn't that constitute a connection between Haijima and the Preacher? Then Shinra pops up. I've not been saying character names, so I hope it's clear who's talking when. And did you know there are people inside Amaterasu? Yes, of course I did. Amaterasu functions thanks to humans that possess the Adora Burst. So I'm assuming it's just Hirohashi Rame inside, who's powering the Tokyo Amaterasu. And then, I guess, does that mean the woman in black from the China arc is a pillar? That doesn't seem right. Because we know that she's the one powering the Chinese Amaterasu, right? So if she's not, what's the difference then between the pillars and the Adora Bursts? I don't know. And what exactly is the problem? We can't go on without the Amaterasu. The Tokyo Empire was built on the foundation of that one-person sacrifice. Yeah, it's just Hirohashi Rame in there. Alright, that makes sense. If we shut down Amaterasu, what will happen to everyone in this empire? The loss of all that energy certainly could get messy. As for the Preacher, I ask you to trust me. We have no connection to them. What about Dr. Giovanni, the former commander of the 3rd? Wait, I thought Giovanni was still, at least in name only, the leader of the 3rd. Anyway, didn't you know he had a connection to the Preacher? Yes, I'm sorry about that. But honestly, 70% of the population is linked to Haijima anyway. The Preacher wants to monopolize the Adora Burst. That hurts Haijima too. So if you have time to investigate, I suggest that you use it to kill the Preacher. And what exactly does Haijima want the Adora Burst for anyway? Well, it's useless to hide it from you. We seek a second energy source for Amaterasu. Oh boy, this is not gonna make things easy for the 8th. Yeah, that pisses Shinra off. What the hell are people to you, Mr. President? That person with the Adora Burst is still human. And that human saved 15 million people. As I said, if Amaterasu stops working, it's game over for the Empire. And Shinra, just glares at him. You too have the Adora Burst. If your life could save those of 15 million, isn't that a small price to pay? And you're a firefighter, too. Or are you also too precious to sacrifice your life for the sake of others? Alright, so I'm liking Gleo a lot more than I did in his first appearances. You know, he's definitely like a counterpoint to like the heroes, of course. But like I understand where he's coming from. You know, he genuinely is like Shinra says that, you know, he sees people as objects as like an insult, but he's really like, and it is. You should value a life more than Gleo does. But he is the, you know, the what's the TV trope? Is like 10 million is just a statistic. He's like the opposite of that, you know. One person is not worth the lives of 15 million, and even though that absolutely like rankles with Shinra and the Eighth, it still is, you know, what he sees as the best way to live in the world. And I think him being an ally is a really nice touch. Like you see these kinds of characters a lot in manga, but they tend to be villains. And Gleo being a bit more of a like ambiguous character, I really like. Anyway, are you also too precious to sacrifice your life for the sake of others? Of course I would give up my life to save someone. That's what we firefighters do. And Obi like grabs his shoulder and like pulls him back. No, Shinra. The life of a firefighter is not cheap. If we live, then we can save more lives. We may even be able to save more than 15 million. And Vulcan like bursts the doors open. He's here to talk about his family's involvement in Amaterasu, calling it now. And he just jumps in, he like bursts open the doors and just yells into the room. Then I'll just create a generator that surpasses Amaterasu, all without having to sacrifice anyone. And two like security guards like run after him. Get back here, damn it! And they like pull Vulcan back. Don't worry, Shinra. I won't let anyone sacrifice your life. Vulcan? He's the Joseph kid, from the family that created Amaterasu. Oh, is that right? Well, let him in. Oh, we're gonna get more details on how like the stories we've heard meshes with Vulcan's past. All right, and we have Vulcan's last name is apparently Joseph. Okay. Oh, is that right? Well, let him in. Let go! And he like kicks back or like knocks back the security guards, and stares down Gleo. So you're the president of Haijima. You really think you can make a generator that surpasses Amaterasu, all without having to sacrifice a single person? I do. My dream is to rebuild the world, and that needs something more powerful than Amaterasu. Obi cuts in. I'm not letting anyone sacrifice Shinra. Yeah, we're going to protect Shinra. Commander, Vulcan. Victor just like smiles at them. And we cut to the rest of the brigade who is waiting outside in front of the matchbox. Charon said every pillar has their own protector. The entire Eighth will protect me. And he like smiles. Needless to say, Joseph, that's an achievement we want too. Haijima will support you. Oh. See, Gleo, I'm really digging Gleo. And Obi is shocked. The president claims he'll support just one single person. But really, given how small they are, the Eighth is lucky to have escaped Haijima's grip. Yeah, Victor does not seem entirely trusting of Gleo, which I understand why. We will support the Eighth, but can you achieve this? Of course, obviously, yes! But I have one condition. I want a good profit from the money we'll be investing. He's gonna like pay them, okay. The only money I need is for materials. I just want to resurrect the world. Then it is decided. Ignoring how they're using humans for Amaterasu's fuel, is really Haijima's only purpose? Do they really have no connection to the Preacher? And now suddenly there are allies? What about Nataku Son? Nothing changes. The Adora Burst experiment continues today. Those cruel experiments, and we see like Nataku like alone on a bench looking at his hand. Calm down. We're taking good care of him. And Nataku like summons some flames from his fingertips and like snuffs them out. And a researcher walks up. You're managing to control your flames now? Not exactly. I feel kind of insecure without my fireproof jacket. And he throws his jacket on. It's okay. You can do it. And the You Can starts playing, and we see Rekka's eye inside Nataku's mouth. Right. So yeah, Nataku's issues are not resolved, as we see in this page right here. Nataku's gonna be worming his head back in, and he meets up with Kurono in front of the door to their like training room. Let's go. It's time to resume play with Uncle Shinigami. Kurono-san. And they enter the room. Don't get all fired up. Keep being weak, please. And Nataku just smiles. Okay. The Haijima arc comes to an end, as this good boy walks the path of a lost case, but happily, an unexpected union is formed. Now our story takes a new direction, to be continued in chapter 148, The Holy Woman's Suffering. And yeah, that is the end of the Haijima arc for real this time. As, you know, yeah, that's the end of the arc. This was a good wrap-up. Most of what I had to say I said during the chapter. Most of what I have to say, I mean. Gleo is a really interesting character, and I'm really looking forward to see what the story does with him going forward. I don't think he'll play too big a role, given that he seems very much kind of a background, you know, let other people handle the work for me kind of guy. But like the fact that he's a hero, that he's not a hero, but like an ally to the heroes, while still having these kind of like typical shonen villain mentality, I really dig that. It's a really interesting thing to see. And it just shows how good Fire Brigade is. Like, God, this show is so good. And then my thoughts on Nataku and Kurono haven't really changed since Sunday night, when I did that 4-part video. It's still kind of odd, and I'm not quite comfortable with it, but, you know, as Charon said, there's the 1% who'll find that the best ending. And maybe for them, that's the best ending they can really expect at the moment. I'm still not quite sure. I don't know. The whole Nataku thing, I don't really know what to take of that. I think Haijima is still going to be doing more experiments, trying to find the other two pillars by themselves. But yeah, that's what I have to say for this chapter. This is the end of the Haijima arc, and whenever 148 gets translated, we will move on into the next arc, which I have no idea what it is, and that's always an exciting feeling, so I can't wait to get there. So yeah, that's really all I have to say for this chapter. I hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video. If you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or do whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. And as always, people, keep kicking ass, and I'll see you in the future. Bye!